I don't know about you, but the Attack on Titan arc that made me go from, yeah, this is a pretty good show, to, wow, I just saw 10 episodes in one sitting, and what is life, and what is a shower? That Battle of Trost. Okay, I gotta go feed my cat real quick, but when I'm back, I'll tell you all about the differences between the manga versus the anime. The Battle of Trost arc is just as epic as it is long. It stretches from episode 5 to 14 in the anime and chapters 3 to 14 in the manga. The Battle of Trost is when the Titans try to break through Wall Rose. It's the first battle where the freshly graduated cadets Eren, Mikasa, and Armin can actually fight. And it's also when Eren's Titan powers are revealed to us, to him, and everybody else. And it was awesome. Trost is the second arc in the manga, but the third in the anime. This insane discrepancy is because the anime places the training arc chronologically, whereas the manga has it as a flashback after Trost. And you know what? Placing the Battle of Trost arc after the training arc was a smart move. The training arc allows you to connect with the characters more and gives you a reason to care for them when they go into battle. Let's start off in the dining hall at the military camp. Eren and Jon's fight in the manga might seem familiar, but not in the Battle of Trost. In the anime, their little brawl takes place during the training arc. In that version, Eren manages to slam Jon to the floor with the special move he stole from Annie. But in the manga, Mikasa scoops him off his feet halfway through the fight and carries him out. I love how in the manga, Mikasa's always like, nope. Seriously, like no chill. The anime always teases Eren as this badass waiting to appear, but the manga's like, nah, Eren's a potato sack. In the manga, Hannes shows up to chat with Eren here, instead of at the base of the wall, and he doesn't quite congratulate him. He skips right to apologizing. But that scene also involves the Doc Yeager syringe reveal, so I'd refer you to our discussion of it as it relates to the Fall of Shingeki arc.
You should watch that when you're done with the video. It'll be in the end card.
Let's look ahead to the next day on the wall. Unlike in the anime, Connie offers another reason he wants to join the Scouts other than Eren's sassy speech to Jon. He insists he just doesn't want to be in the same regiment as Jon, which, doesn't quite work out. Once the Colossal Titan shows up, we get an entirely new scene in the anime with Marquis, Bart, and General Pixis playing chess, and Pixis being all heroic by, leaving for his military duty. Back with the panicked cadets, Jean has a spat with Eren for being so eager to whoop some Titan ass. He's basically mad at Eren for having courage. It's called being a protagonist, Jean. It's called being a hero, Jean. It's called plus ultra, Jean. Sorry, wrong anime. Having watched the anime first, I sort of assumed that the vertical maneuvering equipment and the effectiveness of the swords were magical steampunk miracles, but they're totally not. The manga explains how everything works. Each hand uses the grip of the device to operate the maneuvering equipment. The firing mechanism at both sides of the waist launches an anchor. Steel wire discharged from inside a cylinder is reeled through pressurized gas. The replaceable blade is your weapon. In order to cut through a chunk of meat, the blade is made to be flexible. Chapter 4 has an even more detailed infographic thing on how the device works. Manga science. It's great! Let's move on to where Eren loses a leg. In both versions, a Titan eats Thomas and Eren quickly launches off to exact revenge or something, and everyone's like, don't go off alone, you idiot! In the manga, they're also like, dude, there's one right below you! That Titan immediately pops up and bites off Eren's leg. Then everyone Erens it to kill the leg-eating Titan but get picked off. Yes, Eren is now a verb. I'm coining that. To Eren, to do something reckless and dumb while high on hero fumes. To Eren, to throw an attack on Titan, ask questions later. The English title makes sense now. In the anime, Eren chases after the Titan that ate Thomas long enough to fit in a mini shonen speech. Our Jack-in-the-Box Titan pops up to eat Eren's leg mid-pursuit, and poor Eren endures a way more brutal and elongated roof crash. His comrades are all eaten while chasing after him. Armin stays on the roof in both, though. In the flashback that follows, Kid Armin drops one huge piece of info that slips his mind in the manga. His parents were planning on sneaking into the outside world. Probably not important. That's not the only, minor parental detail that's different. In the anime, when we flash back to the fate of the Ackermans, we begin with a cute little scene where a younger and noticeably more bubbly Mikasa excitedly shows her mother some finished embroidery. Her mother congratulates her work and says, "We've kept this style of embroidery a family tradition for many generations." Which I assume Mikasa would already know, but gotta fit in that goddess of exposition somewhere. The manga opens with Mikasa saying, "It hurts." Okay, maybe the needle? Her mom replies that she's holding up well and touches Mikasa's bandaged forearm, saying, "This brand must be passed down from generation to generation in our family." Wait, what? How did we get from a cute embroidery scene to a mother branding her child? Unfortunately, the situation doesn't improve. In the manga, we realize at the exact same moment Papa Jaeger does that the Ackermans have been murdered. Chapter 5 actually ends right on that panel, but in the anime, we get the whole saga in one episode, as well as a sneak peek of the carnage while Papa's still knocking. Aside from a few camera changes and shifting Eren and Papa's chat from the porch in the manga to a campfire in the anime, the rest of the Ackerman chapter is pretty one-to-one. With that unpleasantness behind us, we only have happy times ahead, right? 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 What better way to exemplify the good vibes than an added anime scene showing a higher ranked soldier trying to flee HQ? How about seeing all our BFFs are stranded in a building surrounded by titans? Things are looking so bad that a soldier shoots himself. In the manga, he does this before Mikasa arrives on the roof, but in the anime, he does it after. Clearly, he's never seen what Mikasa can do. But whatever. Mikasa, however, has losses to process of her own. She, doesn't really take Armin's news about Eren well. She ends up running out of gas and falling. Mikasa is literally considering giving up on life. Her monologue is longer in the anime, go figure. Everything from the manga's in there, but the anime adds Mikasa reflexively chopping off the Titan's hand and the "why do I keep getting up" speech, and the pomegranate. Was that pomegranate supposed to be deep? It's really deep. Unlike avocados. The appearance of Eren's Titan is sneakier in the manga. Before he punches the Titan Mikasa's facing, you only see him once and from the back. Which brings us to Armin's plan to escape from Titan Hell. In the manga, he only explains what the plan entails after he enacts it. I'm starting to understand why the anime likes to keep things chronological. A short ways away, Jean has an intense self-doubt speech that's anime only. Jean's manga counterpart gets riled up to lead by watching a bunch of his comrades get eaten. No better motivation than sacrifice, although an extra soldier in Jean's group gets picked off in the anime. Damn. Armin then has his sweet gun lift plan. Marco finally attempts to build up Jean's self-esteem, but in the anime only. Then, shucks, the fighting Titan is getting cannibalized. But then, hey, what? Eren comes out of that Titan! It's a miracle! When Eren emerges, manga Mikasa runs over and hauls him back to the group on the roof all by herself and then listens to his heartbeat. In the anime, she listens to his heartbeat while they're still on top of the steaming, hot Titan corpse. This definitely shows just how important Eren is to Mikasa, and in general, the anime takes more time to establish stakes in the important relationships. Then the group comes to Mikasa, because I guess in the anime they're more considerate. Next, everyone's somehow on the castle roof together having a great time. Let's interrupt this touching moment with a totally unrelated Attack on Titan fact. The anime version of Hanji Zoe is female, right? Yeah. Definitely. But in the manga, Zoe's gender is purposefully left up to interpretation. Manga Zoe is agender. That's pretty dope. Zoe's given some extra love in the anime to make up for pigeonholing their gender. As the gate is being lifted, Zoe's exclamation about abnormals is only in the anime, as is Levi's classy quip. They also gave Zoe a totally badass Titan takedown. Next-ish, we get the post-battle recovery scene where Jean says he's under a gag order, plus a scene with Hannes. Both actually happen in the manga in chapter 11, after the super epic Eren narrative that fills us in from when he was being digested to that military confrontation. That's all chapter 10. Once Eren's Titan powers become more mainstream, he pledges to Pixis that he'll seal the hole in the wall. In the manga, you get the distinct impression that Pixis is freaking pumped about it. He's got action lines emanating from him for the next 2 panels. He yells in Eren's face, "You're a real man," which, dude, you're really gonna say that sexist nonsense when your top recruit who's a woman is standing right there? Plus, it's kind of an insult to all men on Attack on Titan. Clearly, none of them have been doing real man things until now. Fighting titans and getting massacred? boys. Luckily, the anime revised this line. Pixis tells Eren he has the heart of a lion. Pixis is also super chill about the whole thing. You can be unsexist and still be excited. Those aren't mutually exclusive. Pixis offers Eren some sweet, sweet alcohol in the anime too. So there's another something extra. Cheers. The manga cuts right to the action. We don't get the scene with Pixis talking to the elite squad, or Armin's apology, or the back and forth between Mikasa and Eren. Mikasa's just a natural addition to the squad in the manga, because of course she is. Actually, the squad is way more skeptical about the whole plan in the anime, which naturally means they're way meaner to Eren and give him way more pep talks. On the other end of the spectrum, manga Rika goes right to, my top priority is protecting you. Maybe that's why anime Eren is noticeably sassier towards Mikasa here. You watch your tongue, sir. That's my waifu. Riko in the anime sends off a flare to signal that the boulder moving mission has begun, but in the manga, they just kinda shout go and jump off the wall. Any skepticality becomes warranted when Eren's Titan goes rogue. In trying to get Mikasa, Titan Eren punches his own face and knocks himself out, and there's steam and it's a time. But in the manga, he doesn't just punch his face, he punches his face off. We're pretty much just focused on our three besties for this scene in the manga, but in the anime, there's extra scenes with random people. For example, some distraction squad goes over their plan, and everything with Jean and Connie and Annie's squad. But Mikasa gets to save an elite team member from a Titan. That's pretty cool. Like a real man. Sorry, still salty. Then Eren succeeds in plugging the wall, and so have we. And that's it for the Battle of Trost, which is such a good arc. In our next episode, we'll be covering the training arc. I'm Cristal, and this is Get in the Robot, your anime explainer.